To do right now is just to review what arc measure is. This is going to be really quick. Arc measure and the central angle, those are the same thing. So if this was, say, what does that look like to me? 85 degrees, then the arc would also be 85 degrees. So the arc measure is on the outside, the little squiggly, and then the central angle, they're the same exact measure. So the measure of, let's call this A, B, C. The measure of angle ABC is the same as the measure of arc AC. But what we're going to be looking at today is skipping this middle step. I think before what we had was, don't write this part down. We had an inscribed angle and then we had a central angle. So if this was, let's say, oh, looks like 90, so. If this central angle was 90, what would this inscribed angle be? Raise your hand if you think you know. So this is 45. You just cut the central angle in half to get the inscribed angle. But what I want to say is we are going to be going from, like, say this is 100 degrees. Excuse me. Thank you. What would that be? So this, you also would just cut this in half. It's the same concept as this. You don't have to write this part down. Question?
So like the only difference is that it doesn't have the central angle, but
yeah. Because this, we would say is 100. So this is like the middle step that we don't really need. The arc is 100 because the central angle is 100. And then the inscribed angle is half of the central angle. So we're just saying that the inscribed angle and the arc that connects with it, those are either half, the inscribed angle is half the arc, or the arc is 2 times the inscribed angle. So that's all I was saying for this. I guess we can say one last thing before we get to the examples. So for inscribed angles, I'm just going to write down all of what I just said. Inscribed angles. Instead of having the central angle, we don't really need that piece. So what I'm going to say is, let's call this A, B, C. The inscribed angle ABC is half the arc, half of the arc AC. So we can just jump from those two things. The only thing that's going to be challenging today is there's going to be a bunch more lines, and it might be hard to see where the inscribed angle is or where the arc is. So yeah, let's pull up number 1. I think we'll do number 1, maybe number 10, and then number 8. So let's see. Oh, number 1. Is that focused? It's still recording, right? Okay. So number 1, the first question that I'm going to ask is, what is the measure of angle C? Raise your hand if you think you have it. What is the measure of angle C? You can put your hand down. I will. You think you have it? Camilla.
Is it 90?
It is 90. Why do you think it's 90?
Because you said that that's time for 90s. There's a right triangle.
Well, we don't exactly know that it's a right triangle until we think about AB being a diameter. If AB is a diameter, that means this arc is half of the circle.
That'd be really cool when it's so close to your right triangle and appearance.
And then not.
Make it a right. That's mean.
But it's not mean, it's 90.
It would be.
So this would be 180 degrees, but also this is a straight angle. Since it's a diameter, the central angle is 180 degrees, which means the inscribed angle is half of that. So this is 90.
Oh.
How then could we find AB? Raise your hand if you think you have it. How then could we find... Raise your hand if you think you have it. Grace?
You have a side. So can we use a trig function?
I suppose you could use trig stuff. That would take longer. Brittany, what did you say? Pythagorean theorem. We have 8 and 15.
Never mind.
And the only reason we know that we can use that is because we also know that there's a right angle. This is a right triangle. If it wasn't a right triangle, we wouldn't be able to use Pythagorean theorem. So, 15 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared, which means we have 225 plus 64 equals c squared. That's 289 is c squared square root. And c is 17. What can we do, or how can we answer the question if it says the radius? Byron,
Yeah, is that really? What's that?
how do we get the radius if c, which is this?
Divide by 2.
Yeah, so we get 8.5. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. So that's the answer there.
Because the diameter is 17, the radius is half the diameter.
So this was the hypotenuse of the circle. Sorry, hypotenuse of the right triangle. We found that. That was 17. But the radius is just half of that. So you divide it by 2. With that, you should be able to do a lot of the problems. Number 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. Should be able to complete all of those. Actually, we're probably going to go over number 10. Maybe right now. Let's go over 10 right now. Any questions on that?
No.
This is scary.
So, on number 10, what the light? On number 10, besides this angle and besides this angle, the 61 that's given and the 27 that's given, what other angles do we know? Raise your hand if you want to say. Do you want to say? Kenzie? No? Joe?
The vertical angle.
So this is also 61. It's vertical angles with this. So 61. Do you want something? Grace, do you know another one?
Yeah.
Which angle?
Angle D.
Angle D.
90.
How do you know it's 90?
Because O is 180. Or it's the central angle.
Yeah, that central angle is 180. We know that because it says SE is a diameter. So this is 90. Okay. What do you want, Grace? Anything? London.
I know the one on the right to the top 61 because it's like a straight angle, so you just subtract 61 from 180 and that's 119.
Use the letters. How do you say it?
Oh, S J I D.
There's no J. L I D.
Is 119. That's a vertical angle to
Wait. Yeah, so this is 119. You subtract from 180, right? Okay, do you want anything? 119. Ethan.
We'll use 29.
Angle E. You gotta use 3 letters for that. Because I don't know. Oh, the other one? IED. Oh. How did you get that? 29.
61 minus 90.
Yeah, this has to be, or I mean, it's a triangle, so this adds up to 180. So 180 minus 90 minus 61 gives you 29.
You could just do 90 since it's already half of it.
Right. Because we know, yeah, this 90 is going to subtract off, and so you get just 90 minus that. Camilla,
Isn't SIE vertical to LIE?
yes?
So would that also make it
Yeah, that's
119?
what I said.
Yep. Wanted someone else to say it.
So
What do you want? Britton. That would equal 34. How did you get that? Yeah, we have another triangle here. So as soon as we got this 119, we could figure out that. So we could do 180 minus 119 minus 27, we get 34. And that's actually what it's asking for. There's a different way to get the 34. Did anyone see a different way? After we got this 29? Ethan?
Oh.
No? No one sees a different way?
Oh.
This is another triangle, yes? So 27 plus 29 is 56. 56 degrees, 90. We can figure out that one. That was the way that someone in second period did it. I mean, fifth period. That's it for that one. So I think I want to try number 8 next. On number 8, first I'm just going to write down what it says. LI is 97. LI, so that's this arc. 97 degrees. What is the measure of FL? So we're trying to figure out this part. This is how we can use what arc?
Is the O central angle? Or whatever.
O is the center. There is no central angle because there's nothing drawn from O.
Like, would that be like 220 or something?
Something's 220.
But is it O?
No. Look,
I can keep going.
Byron. FPI. FPI. Open up. It's FPI.
Oh yeah, it's the whole thing.
Look, this is some clarification. If we had L, F, and I, the inscribed angle is FLI, right? The corresponding arc is whatever this is, which is FPI. So
Which side is the whole thing?
it's the whole thing, yeah.
So that's going to be this OE.
The other way around.
Yeah.
220. Do we understand that? We're going back to this fact. The inscribed angle is half of the arc that it matches with. Or the arc is 2 times the inscribed angle. That's all we're doing. This arc is 2 times this angle. Or if we go the other way, this angle is half of this arc.
No, I get that, but how does that tie into finding FL?
Hold on, I'm figuring it out.
Well, let's use a different color.
Subtraction, because that's already full, so wouldn't it be 43?
Yes. So look at this.
You did the same way for 4.
I don't know yet. Give me a second. From F, like all of that.
Oh, you can just add it and then subtract it.
Yeah, 220 plus 97
Oh.
is the yellow highlighter, and then 360 minus the yellow highlighter, and we get
43.
FL. So
Okay.
220 plus 97, that's 317. And then 360 minus 317 is 43. And that's what we have for FL.